Welcome to the council meeting for October 14th. Please rise with the flag. Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Burnham? Here. Councilman Zipprich?
Here.
Councilman Morgan?
Here.
Councilman Schwalbenbauer? Here. Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Whittle?
Here. Some statement, please.
Let the village reflect in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act, that notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the Tribune Times, and the Star Ledger by placing a notice on the bulletin board and filing suit with the Borough Clerk on September 28, 2016.
Thank you. Workshop, there's a couple of quick items. First of all, just for members of the public, there will be no discussion, there is no resolution with respect to the rehabilitation area on the Lower Monmouth Street and Broad Street and Front Street this evening. It's going to be carried to a regular council meeting, as I announced, because some people were concerned it was a Friday evening. The whole reason why it was adjourned from Wednesday to Friday was because of Yom Kippur. There was nothing that was extraordinary about the change. So, because some people may be concerned about the timing, on a Friday night it will not be discussed this evening. It is not on our agenda, but it will be advertised and announced on a regular council meeting. Secondly, there will be, because it's a Friday night, we're going to be suspending reports of council committee members until the next council meeting, so people can get out and meet their families on a Friday night. Workshop real quick, hiring of Secretary, Department of Public Works, Stanley, or Ed, which one?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this week, the Public Works Director, Mr. Keene, which is in the audience, he had advised me that he had completed interviews for the position of Senior Secretary of the Public Works Department. And he is recommending a candidate who has actually served as a temporary secretary for a better part of the year in the department. She has great personal skills, customer service skills, plus she has a degree, college degree, and exceptional office skills. And he's recommended that we make that position, or her position, permanent for the borough. It was discussed, I believe, in the Public Works Committee at the last meeting. She'll be entering as a senior secretary, and that's Mr. Keene's recommendation. And because it didn't meet the packet, it was suggested by you, and I appreciate that we put it on for a workshop, and the council desires we make that appointment tonight, and we have a draft resolution.
Draft resolution has gone to all members of the council. It's been passed out a few minutes ago. And what's the council's pleasure?
I think this is fine. She's been with the department for almost a year, and has a really terrific rapport with the public, and has been a tremendous asset to the director and the support staff in the department.
So you're recommending to be added on when we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anybody else?
I also support it.
Okay.
Me too. I think she's great. She's always friendly.
Unless I hear any opposition, I'll add it to as resolution 16272.
Just a quick point there.
Sure.
I fully support it. But like the last couple of council meetings, a couple of council members wish that we had this information before being put on workshop. The last couple of times this has happened, I was reprimanded by the council for not having information before this. And just going forward, if we can have this information that we can look at before we get here tonight, that'd be really appreciated.
Okay. No, I mean, that's why I did not add it on the agenda, and I thought that we should workshop it. If anybody wanted not to add it on, that's fine. But I think we're ready to move forward with it. Just a real quick thing, because I've been getting a lot of correspondence, and the more I look at it, the more I I was at the school this morning and I drove back to the office and noticed it. A number of years ago, the council considered adopting what a number of other municipalities have done, which is the abandoned property ordinance that has been adopted by a number of towns, even in our own immediate jurisdictional configuration, which is a simple ordinance. It says that a piece of property, whether it's residential or commercial, has been inutile, unused, unoccupied, no CO, nothing going on with it except boarded up or closed, that we should adopt an ordinance which follows. The first ordinance, frankly, was the city of Newark, which has done wonders with this ordinance, and it's gotten people moving off their decrepit properties. Asbury Park has done it. They have removed a bunch of residential properties that were an eyesore to the neighborhood. And again, we brought this up a number of years ago, and there was substantial opposition to it. I think that the time is right for now, and I would encourage the council to authorize the administrator to get copies of the Asbury ordinance, or the Long Branch ordinance, or even Mattawan, which I drafted as borough attorney, that in essence would say that if a piece of property is unoccupied, unrented, unused, and it's either boarded up or completely unused, and has been so for over 1 year, that property owner has to file a registration with the municipality. And the annual registration, as long as it continues to be unoccupied and unused, incrementally increases by substantial numbers. So it's $500, if it's $200 for the first year, if it's still not occupied after the second year, it will be $500 or $1,000 for the third year. I'm getting sick and tired of various properties, especially in our downtown and on Shrewsbury Avenue, that are an eyesore to the rest of the community because speculators have bought these properties, where some people don't even have mortgages on them, and they just lay it and don't do anything with it and just hold on to it. Meanwhile, everybody else's property deteriorates because of that, and the property values go down because of what we're facing. Without mentioning names, I can think of a number of properties right on Broad Street. And I think the time is for us to roll up our sleeves and just tell them we're serious about it, because somebody's inattention to their properties has a direct effect on the value of other people's properties. And frankly, I get people asking me all the time, why are such properties in the condition that they are in what seems to be a bustling downtown? I don't have an answer for it. But I think we have to put some pressure on these property owners to either, I was going to say something that should not be said in public area, but you know what I mean about either moving or stay on your board. But if you're not going to do anything, it's going to cost you more. Because frankly, it does cost the town a lot of money to monitor it, to make sure that the grass is cut, to make sure that nobody's breaking into these properties. And that was the whole idea, that the Supreme Court has authorized towns to do this, to move things along. So it was rejected by the previous council. I think we ought to take a look at it and, get smart and start doing it and moving it along. It's the only way you're going to get some of these properties to move.
Mayor, this is something that we should present to the code committee.
Well, first of all, what I'm trying to tell you is that I think that other towns have done it. We're not reinventing the wheel.
No, I think it's a great
but
idea.
It's going to go to your committee. All I'm saying is before it even goes to your committee, it's sort of a radical situation. We've stayed away from it, but as I keep on saying, there are pressures in terms of competitive pressures on everything in our lives, and the appearance of our town in certain parts is being impacted by these properties. And, one prior governing body 20 years ago approved one particular solution to one of the properties in our downtown, and it's still not acceptable. 20 years later, nothing has been done. But it would go to your committee, yes.
So,
I think it's
Mayor,
actually more of a tax.
It's called the Abandoned Property Ordinance, and it's been adopted by municipalities up and down the state for the past 15 years. It's been affirmed by the Supreme Court as a tool for municipalities to take back their properties and stabilize neighborhoods.
does it address the properties that are owned by the bank? So
Absolutely.
foreclosure.
Oh, yeah. In other words, the test is abandoned, unused, abandoned.
So I think we should look at it.
In most organizations, I'm not sure if it's true in municipalities, but in most organizations, I think abandoned property is a finance or a tax matter, so I would be pleased to work with you on this.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that let's get an ordinance that other towns have done, a couple of them. They basically all say the same thing. The numbers may be different in terms of the annual registration. Stanley is very familiar with it. But again, one particular town has done very good with this, is Asbury Park. They actually put some teeth into it, which is now forcing property owners to either rehabilitate, to rent, to sell, or to say, okay, you can have it. Okay, we're all on board with that, so take a look at it. It's going to be referred to everybody, but certainly code has to get a look at it, finance, because it is a revenue stream, but the idea is not revenue. The idea is to get these properties to be productive properties and just instead of just sitting there. Anything else for workshop?
I just have one proclamation that I know that I had referred to the clerk earlier this week, and I know that she could do, but we do have a draft of this proclamation, so I don't know if you prefer to read or.
What is it? I don't even have it.
It's LGBT History Month for October.
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to add a proclamation for LGBT History Month for October. I don't have any problem with that. Anybody? You can just add it. Yeah, no problem.
Get it, pass it down to you, and we'll do it at
Yeah.
proclamations rather than read it at the regular time.
No, we'll do it at the end like everybody else.
Okay.
Okay, and you can read it. Actually, you can keep it. Okay, anything else for workshop? If not, let's move to approval of the minutes for September 28th. Motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Mayoral appointments, Grace Sapphire to the Library Board of Trustees as a full member for the unexpired 5-year term, 12/31/2020, with the recommendation of the existing trustees and the director. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're going to suspend reports of mayor and council members for tonight and carry it to the next council meeting. There is no communications and petitions. Any members of the public have any comments regarding any ordinances or resolutions that are on the public agenda for this evening? Stephen.
Stephen Heck, 135 Branch Avenue. Question about 267, the resolution requiring the tax assessor to perform yearly notification of tax appeals filed. Up until now, there are no notifications. I'm confused about what that means.
No, I think that the reason for this is because of the change in the administrative code, because of the revaluation procedures as a result of the pilot program. But when there is a revaluation under the old system, there were notifications that went out, yes.
And those are in the tax assessor's office?
Yeah,
And the notification is to
everybody,
everybody, meaning, I'm sorry.
property owners.
And to the chief financial officer to ensure that we're appropriately informed of all upcoming appeals and any budget reporting.
So this is directly tied to the pilot? Thank you.
Establish a deadline when that has to be filed with the treasurer, the CFO, so that we can prepare the budget appropriately. It
Thank
is
you.
recommended through our best practices in the state.
Well, that makes sense. Thanks.
Mr. Myers.
With William Meyer, 12 Mile Street, with regard to the same resolution that Steve spoke about, my understanding was we had some discussion. The pilot program is quite controversial, to say the least. And it was my understanding that we were going to look into backing out of it and without...
The council discussed it a number of months ago, and the determination of the council was that we were not going to back out. Just one of the council meetings, you probably want to hear it.
Well, I respectfully request that you visit that again, because I haven't seen anything that's a bigger waste of money and an annoyance to the taxpayer of this town, more than that. If you read the articles carefully that were presented in the Asbury Park Press, there appear to be family conflicts of interest in terms of people who are hired by that particular company. That company has come in here over years, and in my opinion, done a terrible job of evaluating properties.
We haven't chosen any contractor to do it.
I thought you had brought in Realty Appraisal Service.
No, incorrect. We haven't done one.
Not since the last time you brought them in.
No, we haven't.
Didn't they do the evaluation of like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, the last one.
Right.
No, we haven't taken any action regarding a new contract on them, no.
Because they just cost, and I spoke in the past over the years, saying in essence, and I know towns that have gone 20 years without spending that $500,000 that blows up to $1 million out of the taxpayers' money to reevaluate and create all this litigation and tax appeals. It's very annoying to people to chronically have to go back into tax court because they try to continuously jack up appraisals inappropriately. They don't even ask the questions that are important in order for them to do an evaluation.
Completely in agreement with you. We are both in tax court all the time, and it's not on the agenda tonight. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Let's move on to ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2016-24, and ordinance amending and supplementing ordinances of the Borough of Red Bank, Chapter 105, regarding personnel policies and procedures regarding the definition of authority. This was recommended by our attorney, as well as the codifications we're engaged in. So this is only on for introduction. Move to introduce. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Public hearing will be when, Pam? October 26th, you said? Yes. 6:30 p.m. Okay. There are no ordinances for public hearing or final adoption by consent unless there's an objection. Is there a motion to move Resolution 16-262 through and including Resolution 268?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so adopted. Resolution 216-270, there's no 269, right? But 269 is off, right? 16-270 is a resolution appointing special counsel regarding Red Bank versus Riverview Medical Center. We spoke about this before, discussed it. I was under the impression that the clerk had circulated a resume to members of the council. I was told a few minutes ago that the resume has not been circulated. I had invited members of the council or the administrator to supply other names since that resolution had been circulated to the clerk and to the administrator. Obviously, like I said, using what Councilman Whalen has indicated, you know, I would understand that the council does not have the rest of the resume or alternate names. We can take it off. But I mean, that's why it was on. So I was under the impression that everybody had a copy of the resume, and I haven't seen any others. So whatever you guys want to do.
So we can, let's take.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to let you know why I was on, and just to move it along.
Yeah. I mean, there's no urgency about this.
Well, there is urgency, but we have to make a decision.
But I think it should be done
Yeah.
in the...
Okay, so motion moves to table, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 16-271 is a pro forma resolution that would authorize me to execute a cooperative agreement with respect to joining the litigation costs regarding JCP&L and Monmouth County Reliability Project. We all favor that opposition to the project. We're all on board with that. Some of us as mayors have discussed it. I know that Rage, on behalf of all of us and myself, gave a presentation yesterday before NJT. I don't know whether or not we should move on this resolution tonight or not, because there's no actual amount. Well, I don't know what the council is comfortable in doing. Like I said, we are engaged in joining, and we are joining, but since, what's that?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we have a finance meeting
Yeah.
on Wednesday. I think it is the 19th.
So why don't we table until after
Let's table
finance?
to that. We're talking, and we're happy. Yeah.
Okay, motion to table. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And Resolution 16272 would be a resolution to approve the hiring of Devin Smith as Senior Secretary in DPW. Motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? We have a number of proclamations. Fire Prevention Week, October 9th through October 15th. Commissioner Whalen.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my first proclamation I'm reading, so bear with me. Whereas the Borough of Red Bank is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Red Bank, and fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas the U.S. departments responded to 369,500 home fires in 2014, according to the National Fire Protection Association, the U.S. homes fires resulted in 2,745 civilian deaths in 2014, representing the majority, 84% of all U.S. fire deaths. Whereas in 1/5 of all homes with smoke alarms, the smoke alarms are not working, and 3 out of 5 home deaths result from fires in properties without smoke alarms, or 38%, or with no working smoke alarm being 21%. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas many Americans don't know how old the smoke alarms are in their homes, or how often they need to be replaced, and smoke alarms should be replaced at least once every 10 years. And whereas the age of the smoke alarm can be determined by date of its manufacturer, which is marked in the back of the smoke alarm. Whereas Red Bank's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Red Bank's residents are responsive to public education measures, are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2016 Fire Prevention Week theme, Don't Wait, Check the Date, replace smoke alarms every 10 years, effectively serves to educate the public about the vital importance of replacing smoke alarms in their homes at least once every 10 years, and to determine the age of their smoke alarms by checking the date of the manufacturer on the back of the alarms. Now therefore, I, Russ Holman, Mayor, and Michael Whalen, Fire Commissioner of Red Bank, do hereby proclaim October 9th through 15th, 2016 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the borough. This week commemorates the Great Chicago Fire, the tragic of 1871 that killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed more than 17,400 structures, and burned more than 2,000 acres. I urge all our citizens to find out how old smoke alarms in their homes are, to replace them if they're more than 10 years old, and to participate in many public safety activities and efforts of Red Bank's Fire and Emergency Services during Fire Prevention Week 2016.
Thank you, Michael. Ed, do you have a proclamation on the LGBT?
Thank you. The proclamation reads, whereas LGBT History Month is a month-long annual observance of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender history, and the history of the gay rights and related civil rights movements that originated in the United States and was first celebrated in 1994. And whereas it was founded by Missouri High School history teacher Rodney Wilson, who originated the idea, served as founder of the first coordinating committee, and chose October as the month of celebration. And whereas October was chosen by Wilson as the month for the celebration because National Coming Out Day was already established as a widely known event on October 11th, and October commemorated the first March on Washington for lesbian, gay, bisexual, equal rights, and liberation of LGBT people in 1979. And whereas on June 2nd, 2000, President Bill Clinton declared June 2000 Gay and Lesbian Pride Month, and President Barack Obama declared June 2009 Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month on June 1st, 2009. And whereas LGBT History Month is intended to encourage honesty and openness about being LGBT, and last year's landmark Supreme Court decision guaranteeing marriage equality in all 50 states was a historic victory for LGBT Americans, ensuring dignity for same-sex couples and greater equality across state lines. And whereas, despite the extraordinary progress of the past few years, LGBT Americans still face discrimination simply for being who they are. Now, therefore, Pascal Bennett, Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank, does hereby proclaim that October 2016 is Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender History Month in the Borough of Red Bank, and we ask our citizens to celebrate how far we have come and reaffirm our steadfast belief to the equal dignity of all Americans. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And not to be left out, There's another proclamation for our Hellenic community, for our Greeks, Greek community in Red Bank. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary. Whereas Kimitsi Stista Goroku Greek Orthodox Church will be celebrating 40 years of service and continuous progress in their community currently situated in Homedale, and whereas the members of the Greek Orthodox Church have over the years been an integral part and residents of the borough of Red Bank, and as mayor, it has been my great joy to participate in the life of the Greek Orthodox Church and its Hellenic heritage, and whereas many of the parishioners have assisted in creating the vitality that makes Red Bank a cultural and commercial center for Monmouth County, and whereas the members of the Kimitsis Dikopoulos Greek Orthodox Church will be celebrating their pride and joy of 40 years of service to their community at an event on October 23. Now therefore, I must call Madam Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank on behalf of the Municipal Council and all the members of Red Bank, congratulate all of the parishioners of the Kimitsis Dikopoulos Greek Orthodox Church on their 40th anniversary of their parish, and proclaim October 23rd as an official day of recognition for the Hellenic community and Greek Orthodox community in Red Bank. That's all the proclamations we have. Payment of vouchers, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council, the bills be paid on the attached check registry, totaling $1,401,142.02. Motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any old business? Any new business? Audience?
Sorry, Mayor, just one thing.
Okay.
I know we didn't do council reports, but I do want to announce the Halloween parade is this Sunday, or not this Sunday, coming Sunday, 23rd. So we won't have a chance to meet before that's happening. So the lineup will start at 1 p.m. and the parade will push off at 2 sharp. Thank you.
Mayor, I got one quick one too. Promise Representative. Thursday, October 20th is Girls Night Out. So I just wanted to say, Girls Night Out, October 20th. There's shopping, discounts, there's drink specials. I hope to see all the ladies and women in Red Bank. I'll be just there with my credit card. And
You're just looking for dates.
look at this. Look
No, he's not looking for a date. There's somebody who's got him very closely aligned. He's going to have a problem if he's looking for dates. Okay, anybody else? Okay, good time. Audience, Mr. Point. Oh, I'm sorry.
One last thing I just wanted to wish our borough clerk a happy birthday.
No, I think they want to go home.
No one wants that.
Mr. Point.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, 365.
Good evening, Mr. Point.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not going to go over the whole list that I have. But,
Could you speak closer to the mic?
I'm not going to go over the whole list that I have because it's Friday. And I know people want to get out of here. I know it's supposed to be pretty packed in here, but since it's Friday, everybody got thrown off for the council meeting. One thing I got to say, I heard you a couple of months ago about when I brought up the issue about the trucks. The sheets on the truck supposed to be turned over to you, I guess, when the guy's pulling out. Well, today, you know, it's really a shame to see a front end loader out here that a man have to ride around with a sledgehammer and go 3 streets, stop, and knock a pin in about that big around. To knock that pin back in, keep that bucket, the lips on that bucket from falling off. You know, nobody should be up on the front end loader. With that size track down here and whatnot, these guys working, nobody should be up on the front end loader hitting anything with a sledgehammer. I think that's a totally embarrassment to the workers here that they got to work in this kind of danger. You have new pickup trucks, supervisors riding around, and the workers riding these trucks and tractors like this. Another one, there's no tail lights and signal lights on another vehicle that they're using every day. We paying the supervisors all this money, and they can't monitor the trucks in the background to get fixed. And I hate to say this, but when you could get somebody to come in on the weekend and work on their personal vehicle in the back garage, I mean, it's a slap in the face. you know, it really is to see that these guys working in this kind of condition. It seems like nobody want to step up to the plate to go and do an investigation on these trucks, see if they right, which is supposed to have been brought to your attention. We're paying a director this kind of money. That's his job, to oversee that these guys' safety out there on these trucks and these tractors. I was down there in the Locust today, and I'm not gonna lie to Mr. Miller. I was down there in the Locust today, and the guy came with that front end loader, and I was down there because I'm going fishing tomorrow. I had set my trap. He put the bucket down. I said, "What are you doing up under that thing?" He said, "I got to tap this big boat back in because I go 3 streets and it comes out." He said, "They won't fix it." That is unsafe. Mr. Miller, I'm serious. You cannot get up under a front end loader like that. That big, that thing can come down, hydraulic line bust. That man is dead. That's another, you know, that's another issue in the truck. Are not being fixed like they're supposed to be fixed. You got all these supervisors. You got 2 foremen, which I brought it up once before. You got 1 foreman out here, another worker, working. They was cutting trees together over there. Then you got the other foreman just riding around. The guy told me, he said, "Fred, we got to go cross town to take care of these 55 drummers." He said, the guy actually pick them up and put them on the truck. The other truck, they put a lift on for one of the foremen to pick up bikes. Now here's a guy loading drums across town on the truck and picking it up, and the foreman riding around with a lift on it. This guy don't even have a lift. So you talk about somebody get hurt, this guy gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? And the other thing is, I'm not gonna keep throwing it up, but you know, when you work here, if you get a certain age, and you can't do your duties no more, go to the doctor, get a doctor's slip to see what you can do. Maybe they find an easy job for you, to put you somewhere. But a guy shouldn't be riding around here because he's been here 20 years and whatnot. Lynn Johnson worked here 34 years. And he got on the back of the garbage truck. You had to tell him, actually tell him to get off of that truck. Of an age he was. So this is somebody concerned about the job, care about the job. We have people here that's really milking the borough. The other issues, Mr. Miller, the guys riding around is something that y'all need to go over. They ride around saying they're working through lunch. When we had the sanitation truck, yes, you work through lunch, you get off early. Now these guys doing the same thing, working through lunch. What are they working through? They ride through lunch. Why are the taxpayers paying for them to ride through lunch? To get off at 3 o'clock. Half an hour off for lunch, punch back in, they get off at 3:30. Ted Falls do it. They bring all the trucks in at 12, they go back out at 12:30, they punch out at 3:30. A half an hour. These guys getting a whole hour riding around saying they're working through lunch, and they're not working through lunch. It's a slap in the face. The other thing is, I was across town last week. White guy, no hard feelings, white guy came to me. Freddie, it is a problem here with that thing. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I got 2 black guys working for me. I've been pulled over 4 or 5 times by Red Bank police because they see them in the truck. Once they find out who I was, no problem." He said, "Freddie, I'm serious. There's a problem here in Red Bank." That's the guy building the condos down there on Bank Street, Charlotte. He said, "It is a problem here." He said, "I don't even live around here," and I said, "You bring this up to the chief of police." You know, I mentioned it a couple of times in here. Seems like, I don't know what's going on with the young cops around here. I'm not saying the older cops, they know everybody, they're more experienced. The younger cops, what's going on? When the chief go home, just like a bang, bang, bang around here. You know what I mean? You got to run for your life. If you don't, you get pulled over. You get another cop, pull on the side of you, stop you. It really is a shame. So if we can't get the street department straightened out, which Stan Silver, the borough administrator, over top of the CDAT, it seems like he got too many hats. He can't go down there to see that the safety of these guys. He can't see that these guys riding around brand new pickup trucks we've been complaining about. Nothing. I understand the prop of Sunset. Mr. Zippers made a statement a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Sunset look good, but what about the safety of these trucks that these guys working with around here? We need somebody to look at these issues here. They're not being addressed. I mean, you know, you go down to Public Works, you go down there, call up down there, you can't get through to the director. The young man, he's not here, but you met him about 4 months ago. He spoke to you about pruning the tree. The director supposed to have been by his house twice. He gave me his address right back there. I don't think his sister's here. But he gave me his address. I gave it to the director. Yet, his sister's spouse for him. Director ain't come by his house yet. Yet. And he said he don't even want him to come by no more. He just said, forget about it, Freddie. But I'm just saying, we have problems here. And then when you address the problems, nothing gets done. I hate to come down here to the council meeting. And you the mayor of the town. I hate to come in front of you with the people and bring this out. But we're paying the borough administrator, we're paying the director. These trucks is unsafe. These people who working out here is working in unsafe vehicles. We're paying mechanics this kind of money. If the supervisor is out in the field in the street, who's supervising the vehicles in the back being worked on? They pull the sheets out. Guys are afraid to be pulling the sheets out every day. You just had a train crash in Hoboken. Young lady got killed. All them people got hurt. Then when they came to inspect the train, there was a lot of violations. Oh, that's what we waiting for here to happen. Right down there where your office at, by Oyster Point. Mr. Rock got crushed between garbage trucks because of the brake failure. Brake failure. Never came back to work. He's deceased now. He never came back to work. So what are we waiting for? Tragedy happened here when we got a borough administrator making this kind of money, director in here, riding around in new vehicles, and these guys working around here and saying, I respect Mr. Zippers, public works director. But you know, look, it ain't getting it. It's not getting it. You can't go down there and just talk to you. It's not getting it. Somebody have to come down on a supervisor, change of commands, or something to get this done. Have to, because we're waiting for a tragedy to happen here in this town. And if Stanley can't do his job, no disrespect, it's just simply you need to step down and resign. You need to step down and resign. Maybe you got too much on your hat. You know, that you can't go down there and see that these things are being taken care of and done. You have too much. The chief of police can't talk to his workers out here, have a meeting with them, have an understanding, this and that. You need to step down and resign. I hate to say this, but you know it's true. Black people can't get hired here in this town. Mr. Mayor, you wasn't here at the last council meeting, but the same subject came up. It's a shame. I have more, but I'm not going to go through the whole paper because I don't want to take up all your time. But it's something for y'all to think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Board. Anybody else? Okay. Yes, sir.
Hello, Damon Murtha, 39 West Street. As you guys know, I'm against the JCP&L project, and I know there was a big meeting yesterday with New Jersey Transit, and I just wanted to thank you for sending over a statement that goes along with a lot of other people who are on our side supporting what I am against, such as the senator, congressman, other mayors, and freeholders. So I simply came here to say thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for your interest, and again, thank Ms. Velarde for her reading at least one statement that I had sent. I know that Councilwoman Morgan was actively trying to get it out to her, which she did before the end of the day. But in addition to that, there was a subsequent statement that had previously also been sent to each of the trustees by myself directly, which reaffirmed exactly what Ms. Velarde said, but more importantly stressed the fact that, you know, we are a developed community. And as a developed community, we have challenges. Part of our challenges is we're trying to make our community better. And I reinforce the thought that, you know, you can't make a community better if right in the heart of that community you're going to be popping down 250-foot poles, magnetic poles in the middle of our community. And so what I tried to tell the trustees of New Jersey Transit is that if you give the right-of-way approval for this, this is going to screw up whatever we're trying to do in terms of making our train station area and neighborhoods better. So that's what the private statement, which was actually a public statement, but went to each one of the trustees, and they did get it. So it reminded me of many years ago. I don't think you lived in town, but I remember we fought the battle with the transit station for solid waste. They wanted to put one on the rail lines going through the west side of Red Bank, and we took a very strong stand on that. And I see this going the same way. I mean, we're committed to, all of us on the council are committed to fighting the fight with our neighboring municipalities, but I think it's the right fight.
And, you know, hopefully they would reject supporting the JCP&L, and then we'll be done with this whole issue. But thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mayor and Council?
Good evening.
My name is Rich Ashton. I live on 15 Clifford Place in Grand Bank, and I was reading in the newspaper about you guys doing some kind of a zoning ordinance change to circumvent the zoning board so that they can do redevelopment on the west side of town.
First of all, it's not the west side of town. It's part of the
northwest side of
Yeah.
town, right?
And but it's not. Yeah, we're not. That's not for this
okay.
evening.
I understand, man. I looked at the map. I know what area we're talking about. But what I'm actually up here to ask you, in that ordinance, you said the state gave you the right to do certain things. And one of them was eminent domain, which you said that you wouldn't be employing at this time. But I was wondering if your administration, if you passed this ordinance, if your administration wasn't empowered, would they still be allowed to do eminent domain?
No, you know, Rich, that's a very good question. For a couple of reasons, that is not in the cards. The first reason is that the Borough of Red Bank has adopted an ordinance years ago that specifically prohibits the use of eminent domain condemnation for acquisition or redevelopment areas. The second reason is that in addition to that ordinance, what is being proposed hypothetically is not an area in need of redevelopment, but an area in need of rehabilitation, which does not have that area, and those powers of eminent domain are not contained in that particular classification.
So we will not be looking at eminent domain
No.
in the future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Anybody else? Mr. Boynton, come on up,
I
sir.
forgot. I was told to ask you, West Bergen and Bridge Avenue, early in the morning, about, I guess the guy said, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to hear you.
Okay, West Bergen and Bridge Avenue, the guy said, the kids be trying to go to school and need some kind of cross guard, at least
I
about
thought
2
that there
hours.
was a crossing guard there.
No.
West Bergen and Bridge?
Yeah, and it's kind of rough for the kids to get. I think it's for 2 hours. He told me to bring it, mention to you.
I'll take it up with the superintendent and with the chief.
Okay.
Thank you. It's a rough intersection. Anybody else? Okay. Motion, no need for executive session. Motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Have a good weekend.
Yes.